Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are starting chapter 4 today and journey through the text of A Course in Miracles with Ken Wapnick. My dog's laying on me, I'm sorry. This is chapter 4, The Illusions of the Ego, and this is the introduction. This chapter is noteworthy because it introduces the ego, one of the two main characters in our myth. This is the Course's formal introduction to it and its thought system, even though the term has been used before. Chapter 5 introduces the Holy Spirit, the other important character. Before we discuss the ego, I will review the term leitmotiv, which I mentioned in the prelude, and I had just as much difficulty pronouncing it. Sorry. It is based on a German word meaning leading motive. Recall that it was used by Richard Wagner, the renowned 17th century operatic composer. The term refers to his highly sophisticated use of musical themes to depict characters, objects, or emotions in his dramas. His philosophy was that each time the motif was heard, the listener would recall its other usages. As he matured as an artist, he used one of these motifs. His use of these motifs became increasingly subtle and would change over the course of the drama so that listeners could experience the development of the characters. The aforementioned German novelist Thomas Mann also used this technique, and one can certainly find it in A Course in Miracles. I'm sorry, my dog is very needy right now. She's all up on me. We have already seen two specific motifs that are the foundation of the Course's teaching. The first is the atonement principle. The separation never happened. At the end of chapter 3, there is a passage that wonderfully summarizes this theme. Peace is a natural heritage of spirit. Everyone is free to refuse to accept his inheritance, but he is not free to establish what his inheritance is. Our inheritance as God's Son is perfectly secure, whether we choose it or not. In chapter 26, that same theme finds poetic expression. Not one note in heaven's song was missed. The convolutions of the ego thought system and their effects made no change in heaven's love, nor on our extension of that love. His theme, with its many variations, recurs throughout A Course in Miracles. And it is this principle that the ego defends against so persistently. We begin by reviewing some of these references as witness to how many times Jesus refers to the atonement principle and the different ways in which he does it. Again, this parallels what Wagner did. I'm sure it's Wagner. What Wagner did in his music, changing the music's coloration while maintaining the basic theme throughout. Thank you for practicing forgiveness with me on my pronunciation issues from time to time. The atonement principle, I'll just read a little bit more here. You are part of reality, which stands unchanged beyond the reach of your ego, but within easy reach of spirit. Despite our identifying with the ego system, the fact that we are still part of reality has not changed. Our true identity remains spirit, totally unaffected by anything the mind has chosen to believe in. And this is a reading from the text. Yet his, God's home, will stand forever and is ready for you when you choose to enter it. Of this you can be wholly certain. God is as incapable of creating the perishable as the ego is of making the eternal. Our eternal home is in heaven. Our eternal home in heaven is forever unchanged. I don't know what I did there. And nothing of the ego can affect it. Since the ego's world, guilt and materiality, is perishable and continually changing, it cannot be of the unchanging and eternal God. This is one of the Course's arguments for why the true God did not create the physical universe. I'm going to stop there today, and we will pick up our reading tomorrow in Chapter 4, The Illusions of the Ego, and we are on the Atonement Principle. Thank you so much for joining with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day or evening, whatever it may be. I love you. Thank you.